Well, good morning, everybody. This is the Multimedia Special Interest Groups uh, Zoom meeting for October 25th at the Green Valley Camera Club. And so, welcome, everybody. We have a nice group here today. And let's start off by seeing who has something to share. Oh, Arlene does. Okay. And Ron Barry does. And
If you run out of time, we found something interesting to show, but it's not something that we did.
okay. Well, that's good. And so I've got you down, Brian. Anybody else?
Have a video, but I do have a question that I'd like to ask the group to see if I can get any clues or ideas as to what I'm trying to do.
Okay, so we have you down for showing for input.
Yes.
Sounds good. Yeah. Barb, nothing for when your family was there yet?
No, I haven't had time. No.
I understand. The not have time part. I only have 3 more classes to teach. Yeah, then I might have a little time. Okay, well, let's get started. Arlene.
Oh, okay. So this is a video from when I went to Disney. So it's a fun video. All righty. So do the share screen, and then wait a minute, I guess I have to do this. And then I do the sound, the optimize, and share.
There's some kind of a vibration noise. Now it's gone.
And here's Disney.
No, it's still there. This may not work, Arlene. We're seeing your desktop. Well, maybe it will. Go ahead, say hit play.
Okay, there we go.
That was fun.
That was fun. That's what I could say. Yeah.
I like all your overlays.
Oh, yeah, layers and layers and layers.
Yeah, nice work there.
So, how much of shooting video um, do you give thought to how you're going to use it so you leave blank space to put things and so forth?
No, so what I do is I first find music that works. So I do everything backwards, I guess. So I find music that works. And then what I do is after I find the music, then I'll put in different clips because when I'm shooting, I sort of,
Very careful.
I'm thinking how I'm going to put this thing together when I'm doing it. And so, you know, with the water and, you know, just different things. And so that, but I work backwards. First I get the music and then everything works off the music for me. You know, that's the way I work. So, you know, but I didn't know about, you know, the proprietary music and all this and that. But so that's why I credited everybody, everything Disney. So,
Yeah. Well, yeah. I suppose Phil would have a few things to say about that.
yeah, I know.
Disney is,
Disney is,
they're vicious.
oh, and it's so, you know, $25 to even park, plus $185 to get in, you know, if you want a jumper pass. Yeah, it's unbelievable. And $4 for water. It's very expensive.
My wife is sitting here throwing dog food at me.
Was this your first trip to Disney World?
After 50 years, yeah. I was there 50 years ago.
Okay.
Now, one of the things I noticed on my end was it was sort of jerky, but there were some people didn't cut their video out, so I don't know if that was the reason or if it was just me. But
Mine was kind of jerky as well.
It's Zoom.
But
It is,
those of you that when a movie plays, you should hit the video button.
Oh,
It gives a little more bandwidth for the movie to play.
true. And I forgot. Yeah. So you didn't have to put any extra graphics in for all of the fireworks, did you?
Oh, no, no. Well, you know, actually, yeah, the beginning I did for the fireworks. But the rest, no, that was strictly happily ever after. You know, now they went with something else and they're saying that the fireworks are terrible. They just don't like it as much as happily ever after. But I don't know. So we were one of the last to see happily ever after.
Yeah. So I take it you had fun.
Oh, and, you know, actually the best time ever. I'm telling you that one ride, the Pandora, it's like you are actually flying those beasts. Absolutely unbelievable. It was, you know, just, I felt like I was flying. I didn't know I could make sounds like that. I was screaming so loud. I was screaming louder than the kids because I'm afraid of height. So, but it was fun.
Yeah. Any more comments, Farlene? Okay, how about Ron Barry?
Okay, this is one that I've tried a couple times and I haven't succeeded, but I'm on my wife's laptop this time, so I think it'll work.
Hi, my name is Ron Berry, a member of the Green Valley Recreation Camera Club. I produce the following photo gallery. It consists of the last two trips my wife and I made to Alaska. In June 2011, we took our vehicle and sailed the Inside Passage from Bellingham, Washington to Whittier aboard the Alaska Maritime Ferry Kennecott, with very short stops at Ketchikan, Sitka, and Juneau. Finally moving, we left the port of Bellingham and headed for the Inside Passage. We exited Whittier via the 2.5-mile auto train tunnel, then drove to Seward. Where we visited the Sea Life Center, viewed some local wildlife, then boarded a National Park Service tour boat for a day of glaciers and wildlife. After Seward, we traveled to Homer, drove along the shores of Resurrection Bay, then up to Anchorage. Located on the Cook Inlet, it's the largest city in Alaska with a population of more than 290,000, or 40% of the whole state. From Anchorage, we drove to the Elias Wrangell National Park and drove in 60 miles of dirt road to the Kennecott mine site. The Kennecott Mine operated from 1911 through 1938. Copper ore was mined from the hills above the Root Glacier. There was also a mill for reducing the ore to copper, which was then shipped to the coast by rail. The employees lived in a company town. Copper ore finally gave out and the mine was closed. From McCarthy, we rafted down the Root River. The pink background is fireweed. Then had lunch and flew back to McCarthy. Returning to Anchorage, we next drove to Denali National Park. We stayed at a friend's cabin, then drove home, ending our June 2011 visit. Our story continues with our last trip in early September 2018 at the height of the fall color season. We took the train from Anchorage to Denali. It was a clear day with the Alaska Range on the horizon. Our visit came to an end. We took the train back to Anchorage and flew home. Here's Alaska at 37,000 feet.
Ron, that was just beautiful. The photography was amazing. Well
Very
done.
nice.
Nice job.
Yeah.
I like the way the music sort of peaked right at the last few shots.
Yeah, yeah, it was, yeah, I like that piece. Al Johnson's piece, I've used it before. But yeah, it fit in very well.
A lot of those shots sure looked familiar.
I'm sure they do,
Yeah.
Grace.
Yeah. Only I never got shots of Denali like that.
Actually, that last week when we were there, it was clear
Hmm,
the whole
Yeah.
week.
We waited 3 days?
We waited in a roadside camping area off the highway. The morning of the fourth day, it finally came out and we got a picture of it. Up
That's
until then,
great.
it was, thing.
Elusive.
Yeah, on your video, big points for the voiceover. Saves a lot of times not having to type all of it out and expect people to read it.
Yeah,
Really,
it would be too much.
Say again?
It would have been too much. So I had to have some narrative.
Yeah, it's nice. Personal preference here, not there. I love your pictures. The zooms, when the picture comes from filling the whole frame to where it's borders on the side. Personally, not a thing that we'd like to do.
Yeah, that happens to be, I used DaVinci Resolve. And that's the way their panning and zooming work.
Oh, you're using,
Now, for instance, with ProShow Go, it didn't work that way. It kept the whole screen.
yeah.
It didn't shift.
So that was an automated feature you were using?
Independent.
And DaVinci Reserve, yeah, yeah, you can pan and zoom.
Yeah, we do it manually in DaVinci Resolve, and you can keep the frame filled. It just means if you're going to do one where you're pulling back, you
Yeah.
just start further in and, pull back and
Oh, that's a good
instant the
point.
borders start to come in, then you stop.
Yeah, I'll have to remember that.
Well, it gives you more subtle zooms also because you can't do it as much in and out. Which
true.
again, it's a personal preference of ours. We prefer the subtle stuff.
Oh, that's
but
good
that's
point.
nothing to take away from your photographs and your overall effort. Really enjoyed it, Ron.
Right, definitely.
Thank you.
Okay, quite a trip. Oh, well, actually, 2 trips.
Yeah.
Well, we've been there several times prior to that, but yeah, this was this last 2.
So you knew what you wanted to do and
Oh, yeah.
where you wanted to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well planned. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, let's see. How about Todd then?
Well, so my question is, excuse me, I was hoping to have a video for today, but I'm not happy with the footage. What I am shooting is, my wife loves Halloween, and so our house is decorated to the nines, both inside and out. And it's all lit up out front, and there's many pumpkins lit up with battery operated lights and everything. So I am trying to video this outside, and I'm using my DSLR. And the issue I'm having is keeping it in focus. So if anyone's shooting like lights outside, because some of these lights are moving, and I think that is part of the issue or problem. I tried it on autofocus, but autofocus just didn't know where to go or what to do because of these lights changing the look of the scenery and everything, I believe. And I've tried it on manual focus, which has been okay. So I've been doing this like the last 3 nights, going out and filming, trying to figure out how the heck to do this, So last night, I really shut down the aperture on it, pushed up my ISO, and hoping that I haven't looked at it yet, hoping that I got some better footage. But if there's any tips that anyone has on trying to video at night, I would appreciate it.
And so you're trying to keep the focus at different points, or you're trying to keep the focus at one specific point?
Well, I've actually tried both. Sometimes I'm trying to do a close up, and when I pan in or something with a close up, that's working kind of okay. But if I'm like walking up the sidewalk and just getting like a street side view of everything, it's just not in focus. It's just, if I'm on manual, yes, wherever I have that set, that'll be in focus. The rest of it isn't.
And you don't have a third hand where you can keep adjusting the focus as you walk.
no, that's, don't have a third hand. And I'm using my Ronin S gimbal on this, trying to become more familiar with it and more steady. And I have some, I think some okay shots. They're just not as okay as I would like to see them.
Okay, well, let us see them.
Well, one thing I could add, you might want to do some more static shots rather than all video.
I can do, yes. And I have done static shots as well. But I was trying to do this with the video and the gimbal.
And the dynamic range, if you're in video, is just too great. Going from light to dark.
It's just too much to handle.
Yeah.
Have you tried your GoPro on low light level?
I have not
GoPro
used the
might work better.
I have not used the GoPro. I do have the GoPro and I have a gimbal for it as well. That's a good idea. Maybe I'll take it out tonight and see what kind of footage I can get, because that I've been pretty impressed with the clarity of a lot of the stuff that I've shot with the GoPro. It's
Just set it on low light.
been 3 nights out there and getting a blanket and laying it over the gravel so I can get some like close-up pans and things like that.
So are you going to show us any of it?
Not today.
Not today. Oh, darn.
I haven't even taken anything into like DaVinci Resolve to start putting something together. I've been out there shooting for a couple hours each night, trying to get some stuff that I think is adequate enough or good enough to be a part of a video. But a lot of it's going to end up on, as they say, the cutting room floor.
Well,
We've got hours on the cutting room floor.
So now let me ask a question how other people may do this. So I have all these clips and I'm keeping the clips short. They're almost all of them are less than a minute and everything. So when I want to go to, so let's say I load a clip into DaVinci Resolve and there's only like 2 or 3 seconds of it that I want. So I cut it and I just have that section. Can I just save that and put it back in a file? Or do I just have to keep building with it along the way?
You would, if you, okay, out of a 60-second clip, if you want to say 4 seconds, you take it into the timeline, you cut everything out, and then you export that 4 seconds into a new file.
So what format am I doing that in? Is that in an MP4 or is
Yeah.
it, okay.
MP4 would be fine.
Okay, so then so then I can put it in a file and then I can retrieve these little clips to put together a video.
Yeah, we've never done that. We keep the original clip. We do get brutally ruthless on clips that, oh my God, oops, there's nothing usable in it. It's gone, it's out of there. But if there's any potential for it at someplace down the road, then we keep the whole thing.
So then you would have 2 files. You'd have one of the whole file
The
that you
original.
originally shot, but then also one of the clip. Is that right?
No,
No?
we will have the entire file because you've got it in your media bin in Resolve, right?
Yep.
You're just going to use a little piece of it. Remember that what's in that media bin is not the file. It's just a pointer to the file somewhere else on your hard drive. So
Okay.
you're not
Yeah.
modifying the file at all. You're just saying, okay, out of that file, I'm only going to use this much, and that's what's on your timeline. Gary, feel free to jump in and correct me if I'm getting anything wrong here.
You're right. Well, it's really non-destructive editing. So when you actually
Yeah.
trim down a file in the timeline, you maintain the whole file in the bin, and what's showing in the timeline is just the trim version, but the rest of it is still there. You can go back at any time and make a change to that trim and make the file longer if you want, or that clip, I should say.
The
So
only,
you would just you would continue to bring in all these short clips and then just clip out what you want and then keep it all right there in that media bin.
yes,
Sure, that's one approach. It's, I don't know how many, what's called B-roll that you're shooting, which could be close-ups of certain aspects of the decorations.
Yes.
But generally, when you start out, you have what's called the, I just dropped the name now. The establishing area shot. It can be a wide angle or a pan or something that kind of gives the viewer an initial sense of where they are. And then as you start using these smaller clips, they can be B-roll or even some A-roll stuff that you've trimmed down to show the more detailed aspects of all the decorations.
Okay. Thank you.
Another suggestion I could add is, I don't know if you're shooting when it's completely dark.
Yes.
It's very difficult for autofocus to work when there is either not enough light or you have extreme contrasts, and the autofocus would tend to try to hunt on something to focus. So if you shoot when it's dusk or almost dark so that you still have good sense of decoration lighting, but the sky has a little bit of a tint of dark blue to it, that can help your autofocus a great deal.
Okay. Well, I can try that too. I'll definitely get out the GoPro tonight and see what kind of footage I could do, but I'll go out a little earlier because these other nights I was waiting till it was very dark to go out to shoot it.
Let me ask a question as to what you said, Gary. What if you used like a neutral density filter so that it would darken the picture, but it would be light enough out that your autofocus would be able to work better? Couldn't you do that?
Yeah, you could do that. The thing is, you're going to get, with a neutral density filter, it's going to darken the whole image.
Right.
And the balance of contrast is still going to be relatively the same. But one of the things that could help is with a neutral density filter, if he opened up the aperture to compensate the exposure, now he's got a narrower depth of field, and that could even further enhance especially B-roll or close-up stuff, so that the focus is on the near object and the background is blurred more.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow, all kinds of options.
don't forget in your GoPro that there is a setting for low light,
Okay.
and try it with both, because low light, I think, is for overall low light. But as Gary was saying, you've got some bright spots there with, so try both.
Okay. I'll try both.
Good suggestion.
And the GoPro was certainly a little easier to handle than the DSLR on the gimbal. That sucker, that's the way like a half dozen pounds or so.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you all for your suggestions and ideas, and I'll be out there trying again tonight, and hopefully for our next Zoom meeting, I will have a short little video of the Halloween decorations here.
Maybe I should come by and take a picture of you rolling around on the snow.
Good idea. And please share it with us. Yeah. Well, okay. Brian, how about you?
Okay, just, let's see, on one of the news articles on a truck camper forum that Susan found pointed us into this, and it's interesting. I'll show you what we have here and then discuss. It's just interesting, that's all.
And for once, no equipment was bought after watching something.
Or will be bought. I'm not gonna buy this. Okay, let's see, share screen. Share sound, share. Okay, do you see a picture of a bunch of people?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
This is the balloon fiesta. Okay, now here's the trick to it. See my little hand there? I'm going to put it there, left click, and move the viewpoint. And you can look up and you can look down. What it is, it's a 360-degree setup. Here's the guy that's taking the picture. And the software, it's a stick that comes straight up. And the software, I guess, takes it out of what you're seeing. So we'll go back to, yeah, it's an interesting gimmick. And I think it's real utility. This is a gas balloon here. They're getting ready to launch a gas balloon. See the different shape?
And it's tied off.
And it's tied there at the bottom. It's like a balloon. It is a balloon, Jesus. But these are open at the bottom and they're just pumping hot air up into them. This is lighter than air gas. It's either helium or hydrogen. I think this one's a hydrogen balloon. We crewed for a gas launch once. There
I
they
did
go.
more than once. We chased one.
Yeah, see, they're dumping out ballast there because they want to get above that other stuff. Anyway, and he moved the view inside the balloon there with this thing on a stick. This goes on, and if you start looking around on YouTube, you can find more of these. So I'm going to.
The cameras surprisingly weren't that expensive.
Yeah, I think $300-400. Yeah. So anyway, changes view. Now he's walking by a balloon.
So is he taking, is the camera doing 360
Yes.
all the time then?
On the end of the stick, the camera is just it's a collection of cameras in a 360-degree configuration.
Yeah, there's different kinds of them, different models. They go anywhere from 2 to, it looks like 12 lenses up
Or
there.
more. More.
Yeah, so anyway, we just thought it was interesting. Don't see much utility for what we're doing in general, but for people that are producing, YouTube shows,
Yeah.
then yeah, it's kind of cool. We're not doing YouTube
Yeah.
shows.
You see something like that on Facebook, people doing it so that there is some degree of motion. I had, don't know if I still have, a 360-degree camera app on my iPhone. And that I took out, and you had to kind of you had to kind of paint it all. And then it would give you, it would combine all the pictures so that you could then move the picture around and see it. But you had to, like I say, you had to paint it with multiple pictures.
Yeah, with software, you can take any DSLR and make a 360-degree photo that you can move around in. But this was the first time that we personally had seen one with actual moving video continuous that you could grab and move around. I just thought it was cool. So
That's kind of like the people with, I suppose, Google Maps that drive down your driveway, drive down your street. I mean, they're shooting all angles basically, except for the car.
well, those are a series of photographs. It's
Right.
not video.
Okay, yeah.
I thought it was video.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, the photographs. It's interesting to go back on that and find out, when things were taken, because you go to a satellite view of a specific place, and if I go back enough, I can see the just the groundwork of the building I'm in right now, before they started the structure.
We've got we did a screen save on it in case it goes away, but we have a satellite picture of our motorhome parked at a place up in Washington in 2005, I think.
Yeah,
There's a motorhome and a little car parked next to it.
Found it by fluke.
Yeah.
right. So does anybody else have anything to share? Any questions, ideas, anything at all? Don't all speak
No.
at once.
We're getting ready for a big trip up into Utah at the end of November.
Ah,
The pile of stuff on the table back there to support the trip is
It's just camera stuff.
it's getting bigger.
And yet
oh,
the space we have to pack it in is getting smaller.
Yeah.
Hint.
so you're using Kevin's model of putting it all out and then
Yeah, because
Oh, we always do that.
we're gonna, we pretty much always do that. Susan's right. But this one, we're driving far enough that it coming back to get something we forgot is a non-starter.
Or buying it.
right,
Yeah.
right. And do you make an equipment list? Just out of curiosity, for yourself, so you know what you took in case
yeah.
something happens to it, and for the insurance company who.
We all-
And,
Yeah.
and we take pictures of
Yeah.
the gear laid out on the ground.
Yeah.
The different categories of gear, take everything out of the bags. And,
Mhm.
yeah, so we do a planning document. I mean, it's going to have,
Notebook.
sunrise, sunset, phases of the moon, everything we can possibly think of, because we're going to be out of internet connection for a week. And you can't say, what time does the moon come up, and go look it up anymore.
And we're going with 5 other couples, so we can't dictate the timeline.
Oh, that does complicate things a little.
Yeah, but it'll be fun.
Well, there's an app for your phone that will tell you the sunrise, sunset time.
Mhm.
Yeah, I might even have that on one of these things somewhere.
Ephemeris.
Google, I'm sorry, Yahoo Weather has it.
You
Yahoo,
can-
yeah, my Yahoo Weather has the times on it.
So Brian and Susan, do you ever use photo pills?
No, I haven't bought that.
It's free.
Yeah. Considering it, but so far we've been able to do all the planning ahead of time at home on Photographer's Ephemeris and Stellarium.
There we go.
I know I've used it a few times when I knew I wanted to get a sunrise or sunset, because you can go to that date and you can pinpoint where it is
Mhm.
that you want to be. And then, or like when I was up in Arches, I wanted to try to get the moon coming up through the arches and everything. I could see there on photo pills where I needed to be, so I could be at the right angle to get that image and everything. But I think, and as you stated, you're out of internet range and everything, so you're not going to have that. But I think you can take it, please correct me, someone, if I'm wrong here, and take that in advance and download that file into your phone, so you have it in your phone. Now, it's not going to be up, a live update or anything, but still kind of show you the times and the places that you could go.
Well, if you're going into one general area, what we do is on the little chart of times and dates, there's also the angles at which the azimuth at which sunrise and sunset's going to be, and
Right.
peak height and the degrees to it.
Yes.
So
Yeah, that's in photo pills also.
it just takes a little more planning, and you got to write it down and print it out and stick it in a book and take it with you.
Yep.
Okay, so Todd, that is Photo Pills, spelled Pills.
Correct.
It's
It
a pretty
is
good
a
app.
super program.
Okay, wow.
One other thing, Brian, you mentioned taking pictures of everything. We did that in our house. And I took like a 8x11 sheet of paper, and I'd write like $100 and paste that like underneath the picture. I'm just using that as an example. And we took everything in our house that was worth any money, and then those pictures are in our safety deposit box.
Mhm.
So if anything ever happened, and the other alternative is our son, who lives in Nebraska, if he had to come down here and sell everything, there'd be a picture hanging on the wall. He'd say, "Oh, give me $20 for it." We might have paid $1,000 for it. So
Yeah,
we send him a copy of everything. Just some thoughts.
no, it's great. We've got an inventory in our safe deposit box.
A little outdated.
But yeah, it's a little outdated right now, but
Well, it's tough when you're buying something new each week.
I wouldn't know about that.
So,
We probably need to start a Photoholics Anonymous or something.
There's gonna be a fire sale when he's gone. Get your bids in now.
yeah. So Brian, you mentioned a number of other apps and so forth that you use, it sounded like, for planning your trip. What were those?
Let's see, one of them is the Photographer's Ephemeris. You can get a pro version that you can download as an app.
Ephemeris
And
is free still.
How
it's
do
a
you
map,
ephemerist?
Ephemeris, EPHEMERIS.
Okay.
That's off the top of my head.
Okay, good.
And that's a real good one. There is a pro version that you can pay a little money for, and it gives you some more capability. We just use the free one, which you can either put on your on a pad app, or you can put it on desktop. It's pretty easy to use, and
And what does it do? What's the purpose of that one?
I'll tell you what. It will just take a second to start it up, and we'll give you a real quick guided tour.
Yeah, like why or when would I want to use it, in other words?
Yeah, it is for planning.
Planning.
Okay, I'm gonna take over the screen here. Okay, you see it?
Yes.
Okay. Go to desktop. Oh shoot, I already have an account. You gotta sign in. And I don't remember my password. Maybe I do. Nope. Okay. Shoot. I don't remember the password. Have to look that up. But look, there's the address. It's photoephemeris.com, and you can poke around in that. I'm gonna stop share and go look at my password.
I sent you the link, Grace.
Good. Thank you. It's coming in as we speak.
Yeah, no. Where is? Well, that was right. Oh, it was the wrong. Okay. Got it now.
I can
Yeah, let me,
sign in and
I'll
then
sign in and then do it.
then share. Yeah, just sign it.
I forgot you have to sign in on this.
All right. Now
Okay,
share.
now we got it. Share screen. Share. Yeah, this is a location up in Oregon. Let's go up to Lake Oswego.
That's where I live.
Yeah. Okay, today, the sun, let's see, here's the thing. You move this along and it changes your time of day.
Okay.
Astronomical and nautical and civil twilights, if you're not military, you really don't care about that. Go with civil. This is, I guess, where the blue hour is going to start. And moon's coming up and sun's coming up. This is the line that the sun is on. You can click on this and it gives you, see the thing changing? That's where it is at that particular time. 8:05 is the end of golden hour. Here's the highest the moon is going to be that day. That's where midday is on the sun. Moon, golden hour at night starts when the sun is at that angle. Sunset, it's on that one. The moon, here's the data on that. It's a very small moon tonight, 0.11% civil ally. Any rate, and then you change your date up here. So when we're going to be up in Canyonlands, this is where it is. And it's interesting to watch the days change, where the moon is coming up and going down. And over months, you can see the sunrise angles and sunset angles change. It's a very interesting app, and it gives you a lot of very useful information. I'm not sure what will happen here, because the Stellarium thing sometimes takes over. And let me see. Oh no, I've got it on the, bear with me here a second. There it is. Stellarium is a little tougher to use when it comes to location. Okay. But it's got a lot of information in it. Oh shoot, it went on the wrong screen. You don't see the landscape there, do you?
No.
Okay, let me.
Oh, there's something behind.
No, that's just a picture. I'll stop the share. Then I'll go to share again, and this time pick this one.
Oh, you could.
Okay, now do you see it?
We see grassland.
We'll have to have her take that out.
Yeah. Okay. Down here, you get the screens for location. You pick where it's going to be. I've got the wrong version up. Never mind. This is going to be more trouble than it's worth.
Get out your flashing password.
Yeah. Stop share. But it's stellarium.org, I think. And
Stop. There you go
I'm
again.
gonna get, we're not on the thing.
It's recording.
We are not showing
Okay.
it on the screen because our screen's not shared. Stellarium.org, you have to go into it. You got to play with it, learn how to use it. But where it's useful is where are things in the night sky. So depending on the time of year, you move the minutes and you can watch the Milky Way go across, and you will get the azimuth to the parts of it that you want to take pictures of and what time of night it is. And it's just one of those geeky kind of things that's fun to have.
Sounds
So
like
on the first program, you were showing the photo emeritus and everything. Does that also show like the Milky Way and things like that?
I think there is a paid version that does, but I will neither confirm nor deny.
That seemed very similar to photo pills also.
Yeah. Which is why we haven't gotten photo pills.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I know photo pills has the Milky Way and other things on it as well to line up just like they did, with the sunrise sunset that you were showing.
Well, it sounds like a very useful thing when you get out there and you don't know what's where and how you're oriented and so forth.
Yeah.
And you want some specific things. That was my downfall, or our downfall always was when we were out traveling by ourselves. And where should you be for the sunrise and the good pictures and so forth? Because we got so used to traveling with photographers who knew all of that stuff, and they made sure we got to where we were supposed to be.
You were piggybacking.
We were, well, yeah, that's why we paid him the big bucks, but but it was worth it, I think, because we weren't good at it on our own. That's for darn sure.
Yeah, now you can get it all right here on your phone.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah, connection.
We didn't have that. Yeah. Right. Well, does anybody else have anything for the good of the order? Well, then I need to make sure that you understand that our next meeting will be Tuesday, the second Tuesday of November, which is the 8th.
Tuesday, Monday.
Sorry, Monday. I have other things on Tuesday. Don't want to overlap them. Monday, the 8th. The 8th was right. And then the following one after that will be Monday, the 22nd. So we're doing the second and fourth Mondays until the group decides to do something else.
So is there any talk about starting to go back to the club also?
I'm not there, so
If there's a-
speak up, you guys.
Only if there's a hybrid host,
Okay,
needs a physical host.
yes.
Well, maybe by the 8th, somebody will be working on that. And so for
Fortunately, I'm out of town on the 8th. And then when's the second one?
the 22nd.
The 22nd. I'll have to look at that because I'm heading out for a few weeks, the end of November, beginning of December also.
Yeah, and that's kind of the beginning of Thanksgiving week. But
Yeah.
so anyway, well, I'm going to stop the recording now for us. Let's see, stop.